excited for this week. If you don't know, which you do, this week is the Cersei and the Sirens episode. It's gonna be so delicious. I know I already said that some part was my favorite part of the book, but whatever, this is my favorite part of the book. Like, literally everything that happens in this episode is my favorite. Also, elephant in the room, I've got my like whole getup on because I was like, I gotta do it at some point. So my Camp Outlaw shirt and these beads, which I homemade when I was 13, and the Frederick Chase class ring, question mark. It's just a ring. But yeah, so we're festive this week. But I'm so excited for this episode. I'm also going to be eating my whole breakfast during this because it's 8 a.m.
The trial of choice. The Siren song.
Last week ended with a huge cliffhanger, so I'm curious to see if it like picks up immediately where it left off, because it kind of has to. Oh, Tyson, come on, Tyson.
Awake and refreshed.
Stop.
You need more time. I apologize. I'm Hilla, the concierge. I'll be.
Hilla, I can't believe Hilla is like.
Take a look.
Oh my god. I wonder if we're gonna see Rhaena. Like, we very well could, because it could just be a young actress who looks like Rhaena. And then they could just recast her if they get that far. Clarice. Her hair is so gorgeous. The consensus song. Oh my god.
You don't know Polyphemus. You can't beat him.
Percy is dead.
Well, obviously not.
And Annabeth.
That could be true.
I'm sorry.
But the empathy link, he knows.
But
Percy's
no one
not
is coming
dead.
to help us, and I can't wait to know about this.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
His side part is really gaggy. Tyson in the mirror is crazy.
So if I had choose between saving you or saving Olympus, Annabeth, I burn it all down.
No, right. Percy and Thalia parallels. They're the same person.
She's a Cuban oak, very sassy and sensitive, so keep climbing.
What? Oh, the hair is too much. The guinea pig actually never gets old.
My fatal flaw is pride. It was on my first progress report at Camp Outlaw, and you know what? I was proud of it.
Progress report. That's so smart.
Ready? Call me Blackbeard.
Edward Teach. Oh my god. Cersei. You evil woman.
What do we do now?
Cut me loose! Annabeth, the sirens are just ahead. Annabeth! Don't do this. Untie me, please. Let me help.
Sounds sweet.
The road's getting bumpy because I got me some friends who just knock it off, Grover.
Guys, come on. It's just us here. Let's just talk.
Have we tried that? Could use a little wisdom here.
Evil
You want
Grover.
some words of wisdom?
Oh my god. I forgot she was coming.
I was always watching.
Was so good. That was so good. I need to rewind a sec. We're not doing the underwater bubble. That's sad.
That's pride. That's hubris.
That's human.
Okay. I thought he was gonna say the hummus line.
What did you see when you heard their song?
Just you.
What does that mean? And that could mean anything. And that could mean anything.
If you want to know, we both had to be here and get past them.
It's actually too much.
Like the one version of it that doesn't suck.
It's too much.
Yeah, that's true. 31, 75, 12.
We're here.
We're here.
Oh my god. Bruh, if they don't keep trying to climb that rope, bro. Okay, that was awesome. Hello. Welcome to my discussion of episode 5 of season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So, this is an iconic episode, obviously, with the Sirens and Cersei all in one. Like, so good. I love this episode, but I controversially do have some complaints. There's a first time for everything, girl. So I'm gonna start with my complaints, get them out of the way, and then sort of go through what I loved about this episode. So yeah. First of all, I think, where do I want to start? I guess I'll start with Cersei, because I sort of have like my complaints about Cersei and then my complaints about the Sirens. So let's just go through this one by one. Cersei. I love Cersei as a character, as a mythological figure, as a witch. I love her and everything she does. And I feel like I don't love the way that they did her in this. I think I might have said this at the beginning of my reaction, I don't know, but I feel like she can be compared a lot to Medusa because of the way that, like, she's this woman who has been so wronged and then ends up doing some, like, some people might call it evil stuff in return for that. I personally wouldn't call it evil. I would call it fair. But it's like that sort of character. And then once that character was put into the Percy Jackson books, both Medusa and Cersei were sort of just like brought in as villains, flat out villains. And then in season 1 with Medusa, they very much like humanized her, gave her a real moment of like connection with Annabeth to be like, this is what the gods do to women. This is what Athena does. Like all of this beautiful stuff. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity here to really lean into that. And I feel like, I don't know, they could have done something more with like Cersei trying to convince Annabeth that Percy was like slowing her down or something that's like evil, but like I don't know, I'm not a writer, this isn't my job. But I really missed like Cersei being like, men are pigs, all of this stuff, I hate men and they deserve it. I missed that side of things. And the way that like it was explained in here was very much like the men would come to my island and then they would leave. And it became more of like, in Percy Jackson, Cersei is just trying to keep people on her island so that there's people there who like respect and enjoy her company. But I would much rather it have been like, I'm bringing you here because I want to kill men. Like, and I don't know how they would have done that because it's a Disney show, so I understand that that's sort of a difficult avenue to go down, but I really did just miss the line, men are pigs. So there's that. But yeah, overall, like, the thing is about this episode, if I had watched this and I hadn't read the books, I'd be like, this is amazing, love. And even having read the books, I love it. Like, I do love it, let's be clear. But just having read the books, I'm like, there are some things that just work better, I think, in the books. So that was the first part. Hold on, I'm literally falling off my bed. Let's move over. Okay, we're back. So that was the Cersei part that I just feel like she could have been a little bit more, like, I feel like she was very much like spa resort, like, let's fix your mind. And I feel like she needed to be a little more hateful towards men. That's what I think. They sort of just like removed the gender part of it all. And I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, I really, really hope that they don't do that with season 3. Because I feel like season 3 is like the gender study of Percy Jackson. Because he has to like go on a quest with all these girls and like learn about the hunters and all of this. And I don't know. So yeah. Then I just have to say, with the siren scene, I'll get into it more, but like, actually, no, I'll get into it later. But just my complaint is that like, I really, really, really miss the underwater bubble scene. I really do. I think there is something sort of precious in the fact that like, it'll just live on forever as those like sort of bad fan art versions of it where it's like them underwater. But I really wanted to see them do it in the show. And I feel like I just like knew in my gut that it wasn't gonna happen. But I'm just so disappointed that it didn't, because it's just like such an iconic image. And it's such a beautiful moment of him like just dragging her away from the sirens in any way that he can, which is just dragging her underwater and then keeping her safe in this bubble, and then her just like sobbing in his arms because like he saw her vision, she saw her vision obviously, and it's just like admitting all these things that she wants but could never have. Like, it's such a raw moment. And I feel like after the siren scene in this episode, I would have been way more forgiving for the bubble being cut if Annabeth was crying. Like, I really wish Annabeth was crying. And this is no tea, no shade to Leah Savage Jeffries. That girl is my queen, and she's carrying everything. Like, she's such a great actress. This is not a comment on her. This is a comment on like the direction. I just feel like Annabeth should have been like breaking down after seeing the sirens, because that's like what the sirens are supposed to do to you. And so, because my whole thing is that I understand they probably cut the underwater bubble, because it's probably expensive to do and probably a technical nightmare. And especially with like, they did not get a budget increase this season compared to last season, which like, objectively, with like the stuff they just did in episode 4, I'm like, how did their entire budget not go to that? But plus they have to also do like Polyphemus's CGI and Tyson's eye for the entire season, and they're not using the volume anymore. They're doing like real practical sets. Like, they don't have that much money to spare. And so I understand if they can't do the bubble for logistical reasons, but I do really hope that like the bubble was cut just because they couldn't do it financially, rather than it being a directing decision, because I feel like there's no reason why they couldn't have done the bubble when it's so beloved by fans. And that's like the main complaint I'm seeing about this episode. I tend to ignore a lot of the criticisms because I think they're pretty stupid, but this one I really understand. I really wish they did the bubble. But despite the bubble being expensive, Annabeth could have been crying. They could have ran a more emotional reaction to the whole siren scene, because it's emotional. It's like her deepest desires that she's seeing in front of her eyes, and then having to wake up and realize that they're not real. Horrible, horrible. But those are my complaints. I just wanted to get that out there before I really get into the rest of the episode. And I'm gonna try to make this quick, but you know it's not gonna be. Is my volume up? I'm just gonna go through the episode and like sort of like go through each scene and just sort of talk about what happens. I don't know. So Percy wakes up. Annabeth is like, hey, I don't know where we are. We need to scout it out. And then we get Hilla. I did not, because at this point, I literally just finished my Sea of Monsters reread. I did not realize in the slightest that Hilla was mentioned in the book before I watched this episode. Because obviously I know the lore of like Hilla and Reyna are in Cece's resort and spa at the time that Percy and Annabeth come through. But I thought that was fully added later. I had no clue that Hilla was mentioned in Sea of Monsters, the book. So when they named Hilla, I was like, oh my gosh, Heroes of Olympus reference. But it literally is just something that's in the book. So there's that. They sort of just like walk around the spa and they're like, what's up? We get this, they see Stavanos or whatever his name is. They see some guy go to the sirens and get eaten by them, which I loved. Every moment where something like brutal happens, like that, and like the Scylla part, I love it. I love it. They meet Cersei, which, by the way, I love the design of Cersei. I love that she's in a little like matching set and has like little flowers in her hair. I loved it. And then Cersei's sort of like introducing the fact that like we're gonna do a little spa, little makeover. The whole thing is that I guess they do get physical makeovers, but in the show they've made it way more about like a mental makeover rather than like a physical makeover, which in the books it's pretty much just like physical makeover because they're weaving in the storyline of the fatal flaws. So they did that really seamlessly, I think, because in the book I don't think Percy's fatal flaw being loyalty is even brought up, but we see Annabeth's when she goes to the sirens, and so I enjoyed getting to see Percy's. Then we see Clarice. Clarice goes unknowingly to Polyphemus's cave. I'm gonna sort of like not talk about that much because I enjoyed the Clarice and Grover stuff a whole ton. Like I just enjoyed it through and through, but there's just like not too much to analyze with it. Like it's sort of, they're just trying to escape really, which good for them. And then we get the Percy and Annabeth makeover. Sorry, I'm itching my nose. There's like something happening. Yeah, the Percabeth makeover, God, it's just so cute. Like Leah's dress is just like gorgeous. My one thing I noted as soon as these like pictures were released like a week ago or whatever, I wish Annabeth had some like bangles or like whatever the thing up here is called, like just like gold like clasps. That's not the name. Bangles, I don't know. I wish she had some more gold on her arms, but I mean that's a nitpick. Like her hair, oh my gosh, like I'll throw up. She looks so gorgeous. And Walker's hair, I literally can't with his hair. Like the way it's like parted is so crazy, and the way like obviously he has naturally curly hair, but the way that it's defined makes it look like they went in with a little curling iron, and like it's so good. It's so funny. So yeah. And then we get the moment of Percy looking in the mirror of pain and like sadness, dang. But that's where the whole thing is Cersei is like, look in the mirror and you'll see like your true self or whatever. And he goes and he looks and he sees, basically it's like revealing his fatal flaw being loyalty, because it just like shows a bunch of these flashbacks to like last season and this season of moments where he's like put his friends before him or like sacrificed something for his friends. And it also begins to show like moments of Tyson, especially like Tyson being like, what does Tyson say? Something, whatever Tyson says about heroes stand up for others, that one. And it like makes Percy feel guilty. Clock it. But yeah, really beautiful scene. I'm trying to go back a second. I actually am gonna like kill Disney Plus right now because the way it's just not working. Okay, then we get the little heart-to-heart of Percy and Annabeth as he like storms out of the room. And Percy, I talked about this in my last analysis for episode 4. The sort of like big theme of this season is like the human mistakes that we make and like what makes us human. And Percy is sort of bringing up the fact that like he is just like through and through human and he doesn't know how to turn that off, whereas Annabeth is like demigod through and through, and her human mistakes are what she sees as her biggest weaknesses. But Percy's like, I literally just know how to be human. Like, all I am is human mistakes, which is so crazy. And then he's like, I'm a danger to this quest. Like, I don't know if I should really be here, because his whole thing, his logic is that he is not willing to sacrifice his friends or anything in order to save the quest. Like, he would rather let this quest fail, let the world fall apart, than like sacrifice Grover or Annabeth or anyone. And this is where he says that crazy line. What does he say? He says, if wait, what does he say? Maybe I should just play it. Oh wait, where is it? He just walked away. Oh, he walked away. Wait, where are you going, Percy? Wait, is this it?
It's me.
That's all I am.
That's all I am. I haven't spent enough time in your world to change that.
We're gonna get another reaction to this right now.
And this was never my quest.
No, where is it?
I'm a danger to it, bro. Dad, Grover's lost.
Not Tyson is
So
in
if I
Grover's
choose between
lost.
saving you or saving all of
Oh,
us.
oh.
Annabeth,
I'd burn it to the ground.
I burn it all down.
When he says, so if I have to choose between you or saving Olympus, Annabeth, I'd burn it all down. That could mean nothing. That could mean nothing. If I had to choose between you or Olympus, Annabeth, I'd burn it all down. Like, dang. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me, I don't think this is canon in any way. I think this is purely like fan speculation. But there's like a big discussion over in Heroes of Olympus if Annabeth were the one who was taken to Camp Jupiter instead of Percy. And like Annabeth disappeared for 8 months and Percy had no clue where she was, and then found out that it was because of the gods that he would like burn down Olympus and it would be horrible, which is why they had to send Percy and not Annabeth. And that just made me think of that, because Percy would burn it all down. So yeah, that's the gag of it all. But then we get another Clarice and Grover cut, which I loved all of the Clarice and Grover stuff. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. Especially the part, at some point she's like, Father, forgive me, I've failed. And I'm like, she makes me crazy. I love her. Clarice, that is. And then we get this moment of Percy talking to Zadie, which is Another demigod, an older demigod. I think this is also interesting in considering we're getting some like small looks into what happens to demigods when they like age out of Camp Half-Blood. With like Allison being there and seeing like what happens to Luke, because like after they get age out of Camp Half-Blood, they're sort of just like left to their own devices, and most of them die, and they just sort of accept that. But seeing Zadie there, she's like this older person, but she's been there for like 50 years, and in that conversation it's revealed that like Cersei's basically just like trapping them all there because no one can get past the sirens. But like Cersei has the key to get past the sirens, but she just like doesn't let them leave. And then it gets revealed, because now Percy's talking to Cersei, and it's revealed that she doesn't want them to leave because she feels abandoned by all the sailors. Which again, don't love that. Like, it's accurate, but it's not the entire truth of it all. I don't know. Because then it's like Percy goes to her and is basically like, I know that you're trapping everyone here. I know you have the way to get out. I know your secret. And I will keep your secret if you allow Annabeth to get out. And then Cersei's basically like, you're so kind for offering to keep my secret. And then turns him into a guinea pig. Which, by the way, is still hilarious. I, like, first of all, the transformation, funny. Seeing that little ball of curly blonde hair on the hamster's head before the guinea pig's head, before it like fully transformed, was crazy and funny. And yeah, just like I wasn't expecting to be like actually laughing out loud at the guinea pig, but I genuinely was. But yeah, Cersei's like, no, I'm gonna turn you into a guinea pig. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, back to Clarice and the crew there. Oh, and then by the way, Polyphemus, like, when he starts yelling and he starts spitting, oh, nasty. Nasty. Nasty, nasty. And then Annabeth changes out of her gorgeous dress. But then she goes to talk to Cersei and is basically like, hey, where's Percy? I actually don't remember much of what this conversation entails. Oh. Basically, she goes to talk to Cersei. She finds out something's, like, not right. I also wish they included the bit about Cersei wanting Annabeth to become a sorceress with her. Ugh. Which I'm pretty sure she's not doing that in this scene. I don't entirely remember. But, like, in the books, there's a notable moment where Cersei is like, Annabeth, you should stay here and become a sorceress with me. Which sort of, like, tees up the hero, not the heroes of Olympus, the hunters of Artemis sort of consideration next season, because Annabeth's considering becoming a hunter. Because it's just like this alternate option for girls. I don't know. And it's a very promising. But there's no sorcery discussion, sadly. But Annabeth figures it out. She gets the multivitamins. And she gives them Percy. She saves him. I find it hilarious that Percy's still in his, like, outfit throughout all of this. So funny. But yeah, then Percy and Annabeth get on the boat. They're escaping. They realize the beeswax, because the whole thing is they need beeswax in their ears to survive the sirens, because that's what Odysseus does. And they realize they only have enough beeswax for one person, and so they decide Percy's gonna get tied up to the mast, and then Annabeth's gonna put the beeswax in her ears. By the way, can I just say, like, the execution of the siren scene, like, as a whole, like, starting from, like, when they were sailing up to the end of the episode essentially is very, very, very well executed. Like really, really well done. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's not the underwater bubble, which is such an iconic moment, and the fact that Annabeth isn't crying after seeing what she sees. Those are literally the only complaints I have, but the rest of it is like some of the strongest stuff that has happened this season or in the whole show. Like, I just love the whole thing of Percy getting tied up to the mast, and then Annabeth opening the beeswax, and then like Cersei magics her way and like through the window of her resort grabs the beeswax away from Annabeth, leaving Annabeth completely vulnerable to the sirens, but Percy's tied up so he can't help her or stop her. And Annabeth's pride gets in the way because she fully believes it's fine, I can do this without the beeswax, because she thinks she can beat the sirens. And then she just like gets lured away. It's so creepy. And Percy is just like standing there screaming and can't do anything about it. I love how they did that. So yeah, then Annabeth is just like slowly walking towards the sirens. It's so terrifying. And then we see her vision becomes a vision of Grover, Percy, and Luke. Grover's sort of trying to like split up the two of them, and Percy and Luke are sort of trying to fight each other. And it is showing like, also I have more complaints about the siren scene now that I think about it. I wish, okay, let's calm down. Let me just talk about it first and then I'll start complaining. Let me just like get through it. They're fighting, but then like they're all turning to Annabeth for the answer and like the solution to their fighting, which shows that like Annabeth has this like deep desire for Luke and Percy to just be able to get along and for her to just like have all her friends and them not be evil. But then it cuts to like Athena like stabbing one of the sirens, and Annabeth is like, you saw, and Athena's like, I've always been watching. And then it's revealed that that is a siren. And can I just say, that was incredible. I was fully fooled by it. I loved that. It was such a good fake out. And I loved the way that like Percy came up and saved her. And when like she asked what he saw, he was like, I just saw you. Like, shut up. So good. Yeah, so good. And then they get back on the boat and they have their discussion. It is an emotional discussion, I will say, and it's a cute discussion. But I don't fully remember it. Maybe I should like look back on that. It's basically their discussion at the end is sort of Annabeth just being like, my pride. She's sort of just talking about her fatal flaw and how she believes that she can fight the siren. She believes she can end the war. She believes that her mother will like see her and care about her if all of this happens. All of that. And again, I just think it could have been a little more emotional, but that's okay. But like all of that was great. I just think with the siren scene, another thing I really missed from the books was the architecture part of it. Like, I wasn't super obsessed with like, because in the books, Annabeth sees her vision is like her, Luke, her dad, and Athena all having a little picnic in a park in New York City, but New York City is like redesigned the Annabeth way because Annabeth wants to be an architect. And so it's like it's just like her perfect world. And it's just this vision of New York redesigned by her, so beautiful, and all of the people she loves just like being together and happy. And it's just so sad. But in here, I just feel like I don't completely understand why. Actually, hold on, it's loading. I remember something that someone said where in the books, the world that Annabeth sees is like a complete like dream world, like the ideal. But in the show, Annabeth sees a world that's like a little bit more realistic and like something that could actually occur. I'm actually like processing this in real time because the sirens are like fully exposing her fatal flaw, which is Annabeth in the first scene with like Percy and Luke. She shows up and she's like seeing this because it's implying that with her there to mediate the two of them, they can like find some agreement and figure it out. And that's like a sort of realistic thing for her to believe. And then the next part being like Athena seeing her, which like that totally makes sense. The Athena part makes complete sense. Okay, never mind. I don't know if that made any sense, but like I guess my complaint was just going to be the fact that like in the show the vision she sees isn't like her dream world because Percy and Luke are still fighting, but it makes sense that it's like something more attainable. But secondly, I wish that we got a little bit more talk about Annabeth's loving architecture, because I just felt like that was always such a beautiful thing for it to be like this non-human wish of hers, just this like aspiration to build something. And I feel like that moment of like the sirens showing her redesigned New York was always the moment that made the last Olympian feel so special, with her getting to redesign Olympus, because that was like her vision sort of coming true. So I do miss that, but that's like not the most important thing in the world, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, needless to say, yeah, like I normally don't have complaints about them changing stuff from the book, but I do have some for this episode. But like even with that being said, I still love this episode, so like it don't even matter. But I think that's all. I'm really excited for next week. I low-key don't even know what happens. That they fight Polyphemus next week, I think. Yay! That's all.